we disagree.
What's the way forward?
I think we'll advise ourselves, and I'm sure by the close of day, you know the position of the party in this matter.
Because you have less than 2 days to go.
Yes, I'm saying. We are working today, Saturday. Yeah. Right now, where we are. Tomorrow is even immaterial as a non-working day. We can be working tomorrow. So by close of today, the party's position in this matter, you will be advised and you know. But this is not the end.
This is the central. Would you throw some more, share some views?
In fact, if we were in court, the court appears to be rehashing the same facts in respect of all the other respective constituencies. So, for instance, Techiman South, the judge mentioned 62 pink sheets, when indeed that was not the issue in respect of Techiman South. Okaikwe Central, there were not 62 pink sheets. The judge was mentioning 62 pink sheets.
But the judge corrected himself in these.
Why? When you write a ruling, who corrected him? Gary Numaku corrected him from the bar. Do you stand at the bar and correct the content of a judgment being delivered by a judge? You bring an application or notice for correction of judgment in terms of facts.
Couldn't it be an accepted mistake? Looking at how the various judgments were read.
I will not go on that path with you. I am saying that where a lawyer stands at the bar and be correcting the contents of a ruling delivered by the judge, we have a problem.
Thank you very much. So that is Roxanne Dafiameko. He is one of the lawyers for the NDC. The story here is that the High Court has given a decision to the Electoral Commission to collate for, let's speak to Ibe,
and they would not be admitted
by the court to give a decision. Gary Numako is leaving the court premises. Gary, I believe that you must be excited by the decision of the court.
Well, I think this is a rule of law. I mean, the law has spoken. I mean, they went to Supreme Court and said they were not heard. They were not heard. They were not heard. The Supreme Court goes back to the higher court and be heard. And they came, they are being heard. So basically, that is it. EC must go and do his work. He must go and collect the results. Period. And clearly, you should realize that how can you go and say you have done collation and you leave some of the police out? I mean, how is that how collation is done in law?
The explanation they begin to tell us is that some of these polling stations, they couldn't come to agreement on the actual result.
Does it mean they should be excluded? They should be excluded? You're going to vote and your vote is being excluded. Is that free? Is that fair? You know, so basically what they did was entirely wrong. And they used people to go and mess about at the centers, to go and cause mayhem at the centers. Is that what should be done in this country? If this was allowed to stand, what will happen in 2028? People will mess about the centers and go and cause confusion there.
I'm confident that this will bring a finality to the matter.
I believe so. EC should make sure that this collation and declaration is done today, so that at the end of the day, this matter is if they finish it, they don't agree, they can go back to the court, whatever. But for now, the matter is foreclosed.
So that's Gary Numako, the lawyer who led the NPP team to the court to seek this collation. And so for Ablikman North, 2 constituencies are to be collated. For Tema Central, 2 constituencies are to be collated. Ablikman North, 60 constituencies. For Okaikwe Central, 31 constituencies. And for Techiman South, 147 constituencies. Collation is expected to be done for this. Let's see if we can pick some quick thoughts from Rabna Obin. What do you think? So that's the decision. So that's the decision of the court here. We are trying to speak to Rabna Obin. She says she'll be back.
We don't want an interview.
Obviously, the NDC and their supporters are not happy with the decision of the court as far as this matter is concerned. Let's pick some thought from Dr. Tanko, who is with the NDC. As far as you're going back to the collation center. If the EC gives you date and time and place, are we to see the NDC there?
My brother, this charade that occurred at the High Court, we are not going to respect that thing. That is why we have filed processes. Do you know that a bucket full of lies was poured in front of the High Court judge. And the judge ruled based on those lies.
But that was available
I'm
before.
saying what is available? Have we cross-examined those facts? Somebody came and told a story that they were being chased around. They were being beaten to pulp. And therefore, because they wanted their life, they decided to declare. Have we cross-examined them?
Your lawyers had these issues before the case was heard. If they needed to cross-examine anybody, if they needed to challenge anything that was put in by the Electoral Commission, they were at liberty to do so.
The mandamus was trying to force an officer who is not doing his duty to do his duty. Those duties have been acted on. They were carrying on. We touched evidence of them doing the declaration. And at the time they were doing the declaration, there was no duress whatsoever on them.
No, but do you disagree that there were outstanding polling stations, which the judge believed that if these polling stations were outstanding, then the Electoral Commission did perform its job properly?
It doesn't lie within his mandate as a judge sitting on the case of mandamus to determine on that matter. It is only on election petition that can warrant that, to look into the veracity of what they are saying, because we needed to cross-check that. And you saw what happened. The judge was exposed in open court because he had one ruling, and on different matters he continued to be mentioned 62 when the matters were not on 62. He was exposed badly.
Isn't because the way the matters were handled and the facts were similar, the law on it was similar, and he didn't read the judgment for each case independently?
I am saying that they were not similar. They were different matters. It came on different weight levels. Different matters, different cases. He used one ruling. We suspect that this ruling was not coming from his handwriting, because the man himself was confused when he was reading the thing. It has to take lawyers from our opponent. It means there was some collusion between them to now be correcting him. He was exposed. These are the things.
Thank you very much. So that is Dr. Tanko making his case. Let's try and pick some thoughts from the lawyers for the NDC. The lead counsel is addressing the press at the moment. I'll try to get some thoughts from him, sir. Oh, sorry.
Take steps right now to get them, the legal requirement. The order must be served on the Electoral Commission before they can proceed. And like my lord said, they are now working on the order. We have our stay application, we have the notice of appeal, and we take steps. This matter is not ending here. And let nobody be deceived. This matter cannot end here. Because you see, the matters raised, and if you are in court, it was as though my lord was hearing an election petition. This is a mandamus application, for Christ's sake, and that is all that I will say. So we'll take all the steps.
But time is also running out. Time is running out. How are you dealing with the issue of time?
No, first of all, the court itself said because of the election and the nature, expeditious trial will be permitted. And we have taken steps timeously. Look at the time the judgment or the rulings were delivered, and look at the time we file our respective notices of appeal. That is the speed with which we want to do it, and we have taken all the necessary precautions.
Thank you, Honorable. But let me speak to some of the candidates.
So that is Edwige Tamaklo, lawyer for the NDC, addressing the press at the moment. Let's speak to Mr. Christopher Bayer. 147 outstanding polling station. Was that really the situation?
That is not the truth. I mean, I think natural justice wasn't delivered. Why? Because he only listened to one side, which they said they had collated 147.
Lawyers were in court.
Of course, that is why we say it should be an election petition, where you can go into the nitty-gritties and the matter. For us, we even attach the Form 1C and 1B. We attach the rate and then the summary sheet. So, if they have a case, we have to go into the nitty-gritties. You cannot use mandamus to determine that.
Isn't it fair to say that if results were declared without the votes of persons from 147 constituencies, then you should just go and add them? If truly you won, if you add those 147 polling stations, you should still win.
That is their side of the story. we also attached exhibits. And did he talk about the exhibits? You were in court. The judge never talked about the exhibits. You get what I mean? So for us, our legal team is working, and we are sure that we will prevail, we will win.
Will you make your way to any center where there's going to be a continuation of the collation?
Oh, for now, there's another option that we have taken, and we'll leave that to our legal team. Although we have our pink sheets, everything ready, but we'll leave that to the legal team.
The fear is security at such a collation center, and particularly for Techiman South. We are minded of what happened in the 2020 election. What commitments are you putting on your side, and what do you request from authorities to make sure that if there's any collation whatsoever, it will be peaceful?
You see, that is a mistake that you as the media is making, because you do not even understand the genesis of the whole issue. Do you get what I mean? Now for us, we are peace-loving people, especially Techiman and also the NDC team. For us, what we are saying is that there was collation, and if they had any issues, they should go in the proper way. And that is through an election.
Hasn't that ship sailed?
It hasn't shifted. And that
because during a preliminary objection, the judge said, if the results have not been gazetted yet, and there are questions about the conduct of the Electoral Commission, a mandamus or a judicial review application may lie.
Kindly read much about mandamus. Can you use fraud to determine, can you use mandamus to determine fraud? Issues of fraud are very serious allegations which need to be looked into.
But in this it was a simple case of the commission not completing its work.
And that's why we are insisting that it was completed, and we have our summary sheet attached, we have our writ attached, and therefore, what is the basis of only taking or listening to their side? We have the exhibits attached.
Your summary sheet, does it include all the 282?
Exactly, with the writ. And therefore, we think that, well, we have...
What's the fear of going back for a collation?
We are not afraid, but we want to make sure that justice is delivered. We want to make sure that we exhaust all the processes, and that is what we are going to do.
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
So that is Christopher Beyer. He is the NDC's parliamentary candidate for Techiman South. He says that collation was done for all these constituencies, and that there's no need for the Electoral Commission to go back and undertake some more collation. We'll try and see if we can speak to some more persons or lawyers who have been part of this case. I must say that earlier the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, Justin Frimpong Kodua, was here, but we've not been able to get close with him and have an interaction with him. But there are some other members of Parliament who are here that will try as much as possible to get their views on the matter. But the story here is that the Electoral Commission has been ordered to go back and complete collation for 4 constituencies. These 4 constituencies, including Techiman South, Okaikwe North, Tema Central, and Ablekuma North. The case was resolved on the strength that the Electoral Commission had not completed collation in these constituencies. Particularly for Tema Central, we are being told that there were some 2 constituencies that were outstanding to be collated. Apart from the Tema Central, we are told that in Ablekuma North, about 62 polling stations were not collated. In Okaikwe North, in Okaikwe Central, we are told 31 polling stations were not collated. And in Techiman South, we are told 147 polling stations were not collated. For the who don't have pink sheets?
The MPP people, they don't have pink sheets.
How do you know they don't have?
Yes, because they said they don't have it. So what are they going to use to collect the
you have your
station? Yes, everything is intact.
Why won't you go and use your pink sheets to do the collation?
They won't allow us to bring our pink sheet.
The result they are using, or whatever.
Let's try and see if we can speak to Baba Sadiq. You're supposed to go back for this studious work of collation. Are you going to go back?
Come again.
You're supposed. You're supposed to go back for the tedious work of completing collation. You go back. You are assaulting us. You are where you are assaulting us. You are just doing our
Oh, no, it doesn't. Go back.
I want to assault us. First, what do you make of the decision of the court?
No, you had my director of legal and our counsel in court. We've obliged duly, and then obviously there are next steps for us, and he's already detailed the next steps for the party.
For you, if you have been called to go for collation today for the remaining 31 polling stations, are you going to be there?
No, we've not been called yet. We don't know the process, and don't forget that there's already a process that I've started, led by our director of legal, and so we're strictly adhering to that.
But how confident are you if these 31 polling stations are added, you're still going to win?
We've always maintained that the pink sheets that we have show that we've won in these 31 polling stations. You know, the only challenge we had was the fact that during collation, we began to notice that these numbers were being swapped. You know, and that's where we began to raise the issues. These 31 polling stations, the pink sheet that we have, and one of these days, I'm sure I would actually put it out. We have all our pink sheets. And the 31 blemished polling stations, when you look on the pink sheets, those numbers, those that have won those 31 polling stations, it's us. You know, but during collation, we noticed that from the EC's point, the numbers were being swapped, and that is where we raise issues. You know, and so we had initially tried to inquire from the EC, how do they resolve this particular challenge? Because I don't manufacture pink sheets. The pink sheets are a copy of what you give to me. You've given me pink sheet. On the pink sheet I've won, and then I come and I realize that my numbers you've given to my opponent where I've won, and then giving my opponent's numbers to me where he's lost. I mean, certainly there has to be a way out. The EC themselves determined a way out, which we stood by in court. But there's a new court ruling now, and our director of legal has provided an insight in our next line of action.
Thank you very much. So that is Baba Sadiq of the NDC. He was the NDC's parliamentary candidate in Okaikwe Central. He says that the problem with the 31 polling stations is that the results at a point in time were being swapped, meaning that the results that he had on his pink sheet were different from what the Electoral Commission had or what the NPP had. And in turn, he disputes those figures. And as a result, he is thinking that if the commission had gone according to the results on his pink sheet, then he is going to win. But now the decision has been made that the 31 polling stations should be collated again. We don't know what they are going to do, how they are going to approach this, but essentially the NDC and their members here simply appear disgruntled and not happy with the decision of the court. Some supporters are still within the premises of the court, but most of them who were here earlier have since moved following the decision of the court. Let's now take an earlier interview we had with the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, Justin Frimpong Kodia, when he engaged the press on the decision by the court, the decision for the Electoral Commission to go out there and complete collation in 4 constituencies, in Tema Central, 31 in Okaikwe Central, 62 in Ablekuma North, and 147 in Techiman South. That we engage with the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, Justin Frimpong Kodia, earlier, and he engaged us on what this means for the NPP and how the NPP is prepared for this. But this has been our coverage of the court proceedings here at the High Court, where the High Court has ordered the Electoral Commission to go and conduct collation in these 4 constituencies. The Commission has the mandate to do so between now and January 6. That is according to the directive of the court. Reporting for ChannelOne News, Hansen Ajiman.
Thank you very much, Hansen Ajiman. That's our court correspondent, bringing us up to speed with the High Court ruling today indicating that the Electoral Commission should go ahead and complete the collation in 4 constituencies. So Tema Central, Okaikwe Central, Blekuma North, and then Techiman South. We are waiting to see what time or what date the Electoral Commission will set for the collation to be completed. As we know, they have been given up to January 6 to complete this collation. We'll be here to give you all the details as and when they come. My name is Ajuatin Kramadomna. Thank you for watching.
Get ready for a day of gratitude and nostalgia at the Swesco Annual All-Year Group's Thanksgiving and Remembrance Service. Join us on Sunday, January 19th, 2025 at the ICGC Christ Temple, Aboseokai in Accra at 2 p.m. The service will also mark the launch of the 66th anniversary celebrations of Swesco. Wear your Swesco cloth and be part of this special gathering. Contact